In this video, we will look at Boolean operators, and this tutorial is primarily for research beginners and just to introduce the Boolean operators and how you can use them in your literature search. And in this tutorial, we will be looking at the Boolean operator AND. We will also be looking at OR, NOT, and how to use the parentheses or brackets. And we'll also look at how to use the asterisks and how to use quotation marks. To begin our tutorial, if we look at the Boolean operator AND, this operator is used to provide results that contain both or all keywords. So in other words, it is used to narrow down a search using your keywords. And the Boolean operator OR is used to provide results that contain either keywords, meaning it can contain two or more keywords, and it is used to broaden or widen your search when you are looking for your literature in databases. The Boolean operator NOT is used to provide results that do not contain the keywords. So in other words, it is used to narrow down your search or to exclude certain keywords that you don't want to appear in the literature that you are searching. And the parentheses or brackets is used to allow keywords to be grouped. In other words, you can combine different keywords and use them as single keywords by using parentheses to group keywords. And the asterisk is used for truncation, and it allows to search for variation of the keywords that you have based on the root word of the keywords that you have and you want to look for. And finally, the quotation marks. These are used to produce results with the exact phrase or exact keywords or exact combination of keywords. In other words, if you have keywords that you want to appear exactly as they are, if you have two or more keywords, then you can put the quotation marks between the keywords so that when you search, your search results will produce exactly the words that you want as it appears in the literature. This is just to illustrate the concepts. If we look at the keyword AND, you can say in this diagram that in this search, the search will produce results that will contain the keywords genetics and cloning, and this is the shaded area. On the middle diagram, you can see the use of the for the use of the Boolean operator OR. So this search will produce results that will have the keyword genetics and cloning. So you can see that the shaded area is very broad or very wide. The Boolean operator NOT, as illustrated in this last diagram, will exclude certain keywords. In this in this example, you can see that the keyword NOT is being excluded and will only produce results with the search term genetics. Now to illustrate, we will use an example. This is from one of my studies that I did some years back. In that study, I looked at the association between rainfall pattern and climate-sensitive infections that were being monitored using syndromic surveillance, and I did a literature review when I was doing this research. So before you start using the Boolean operators, initial step would be to identify keywords, and you can use your research topic or research title to brainstorm and list keywords or synonyms or variants of keywords which you would like to use to search literature in the databases that you decide to use. And based on the previous title that I showed, the keywords that I brainstormed, and I have listed them here. For example, I brainstormed keywords such as rainfall, rain, rain events, seasonal rain or seasonal rainfall, then I also listed down climate-sensitive infections, climate-sensitive infectious diseases, infectious disease syndromes, infectious diseases, and syndromic surveillance. So these are the keywords that I brainstormed and listed based on this topic, which is association between rainfall pattern and climate-sensitive infections using a syndromic surveillance. So once you have done that, you can now think about and plan your search strategy or build your search strategy. Let's now go and do that using these examples or using this list of keywords. Okay, now we are back here again with the keywords that you saw previously in the slides. So at the top, I have rainfall pattern, rain events, seasonal rainfall. Then in the center, I have climate-sensitive infections, climate-sensitive infectious diseases, infectious disease syndromes, or infectious diseases. And at the bottom, I have syndromic surveillance and syndromic surveillance system. So let's now look at how we can use the keywords and also combine with the Boolean operators to try and build a search strategy. So this would form one group of keywords, this would form another group of keywords, and the bottom would form another group of keywords. So the first thing I'd like to do is do a broad search, so which means I'd like to use the Boolean operator OR to look for all these keywords. So which means I will now combine them using the Boolean operator OR. This is just brainstorming and planning your search before you go and search for literature in databases such as PubMed. And I'm just going to do this so that it gives me some idea and some kind of plan or roadmap before I actually start looking in PubMed. And I will do the same for the middle list of keywords. For example, climate-sensitive infections, climate-sensitive infectious diseases, or infectious disease syndromes, or infectious diseases. And then for the last group of keywords, I have syndromic surveillance or syndromic surveillance systems. Once I've done that, I can see that now I want to combine this group and the middle and the last group, all the groups of search with a Boolean operator AND, because I want to look for all the keywords or all the search which will have these words and these key terms or keywords as well as these ones. So I will use the Boolean operator AND. So I'm just going to bold it so it stands out, and here as well, just going to make it like this so that you can see that this is the strategy or your search plan that you will use to look for words, look for keywords in the databases. But in this example, I'm specifically thinking of looking for literature in PubMed. Therefore, I'm building this, let's say, preliminary search strategy. And so as the last key terms. Okay, so now we have combined all the similar words or variants with OR, and we want to narrow the search down with similar group of words in the middle and with a third lot of keywords at the bottom. Okay, now that we have an idea of what we'd like to do, we will go over to PubMed and see how you can now implement this strategy in PubMed and build your search strategy further. Let's now head over to PubMed. So once you come to PubMed, click on the Advanced Search tab, and that will take you directly to this page. And for beginners, you want to start looking for literatures looking for keywords actually that will appear in your title and abstract. And based on our search plan that we are devising, we'll be looking for rainfall, rainfall pattern, rain or rain events. So let me now go ahead and build that in PubMed Search Builder. So for example, we said rain, add that to the query box, or rainfall. Next one is rainfall pattern. And remember, I want the exact phrase, so I'm going to use the quotation marks. Actually, I'm going to use the bracket to group them together, but not exactly like a exact phrase. Rain events is next. Seasonal rain. Next is seasonal rain. Okay. Now that I have that, I will add that to my search history. Let me just delete these ones from a previous practice. Okay. We have 32,619 results. Remember that we are using OR, so this is a very broad search, and we will keep on building our search query. Next is we have climate-sensitive infections or climate-sensitive infectious diseases. Let's do that. Say climate-sensitive infections. Next is climate-sensitive infectious diseases. Let's check the other keyword is infectious diseases and infectious disease syndrome. So let's do that. Infectious diseases and infectious disease syndromes. Okay, I can do that. I will now add that to history. We have 86,567 hits. Finally, we go to syndromic surveillance or syndromic surveillance systems. Let's do that. Syndromic surveillance or syndromic surveillance system or systems. So I'm going to put just a bit of variation, put the asterisk there so that it can include the keyword system as well as systems. Okay. And in the results, I have 1,356 results. Okay, I will go back to our preliminary search plan, and we decided that we'll use the Boolean operator AND to combine all the search results. Let's do that now. So coming back to PubMed, and at the bottom or search result number 1, we have all these results. So we want to now continue to build our search query in the query box. So if you click on these 3 dots, you will see add query. So click that and you have your query box being filled. Then you go to number 2, do the same, and you can see here it says add with AND. So because we want to use the Boolean operator AND, so we do that. And finally, we want to see if we can capture any literature or any published article that contains syndromic surveillance or syndromic surveillance systems. And we do the same and see what we come up with. Okay, very interestingly, it's giving us 0 results. So let's repeat and see what we get. This time I'm going to exclude syndromic surveillance and just these two, 1 and 2. I do the same. Results number 1, and I combine with results number 2 with the Boolean operator AND, and I add to history, and I end up with 178 results. So this is pretty good. If you click on 178, it will take you to the list of all the papers that it has pulled out. Of course, you will have some false positive results, meaning there'll be some papers that are there that are not really in line with what you want to do. So from here on, you'll have to read through the abstract and using your inclusion and exclusion criteria to include papers or to exclude papers when you are reading your articles. So just heading back again to the advanced search field and and we can see that our results has produced 178 results, 78 papers. We can now go through them one by one, reading the abstract and select the papers that we want using our inclusion and exclusion criteria. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and this is our short introduction or tutorial to learn how to use the Boolean operators. If you're a research beginner or if you're a beginner in research, this is how you can start, and as you become more experienced, you can continue to do other complicated search.